Hello, my name is Gabriel Vega. I am the bassist for Echo Road, and this is my rig rundown. So let's start off with the bass that I use. This is a PV grind. It's an all solid wood. If you could look at the back of the bass right here, it's actually one piece, so the neck does not come off the bass. It makes it feel very different compared to other basses. I use flat wound strings on this, and people look at me with very odd expressions, like my friends in the control room. But I use flat wounds strings on this bass. And the reason why I pick flat wounds is because I kind of like that feeling of it sounding like an upright bass compared to it just sounding with the steel strings. And I also just love the way that it kind of just feels. I feel like my fingers flow throughout the strings much more fluidly than with other types of bass strings. So that's what it sounds like without any effects on it. When I play live, I normally have a compressor on, which kind of gives it this more controlled and contained sound. So already you can kind of tell the difference. It sounds much more contained and controlled, and that's what I like because it makes it easier for me to find my own tone on stage. Now another effect that I use a lot is this big muff bass right here, and with the compressor and the other effects that I have, it kind of also makes the other effects more controlled as well. I have the big muff here for when we play songs like Red Girl, which is a very heavy driven sound. So you could tell it already has that really sludgy kind of tone that you find on some of the early Sabbath records and the early Judas Priest records, which is what I was kind of going for with that sound, with that song. Now what's interesting is that this pedal actually was not on the album. Instead, I had used just the drive setting on the amp, which has a little bit more of a different sound. So it's a lot more, I guess you could say, it has a lot more high end to it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I like the sound of the fuzz better because you get that really low kind of muddiness to it. Another effect that I use is the chorus pedal, which I primarily use when we play meditation in the evening live. And also you could get some really cool solo sounds with that too. So yeah, it sounds like a chorus pedal, as it should. And then something that I'm starting to use a little bit more, this is the most recent addition to the pedal board, is the octave pedal. None of these pedals were on the album, but some of these I like to use live. So yeah, I usually like to use the dual setting where I could get both octaves in at once. So like I could play this, or I could play this, and both work for different reasons. Like if I'm playing faster, I'll probably just prefer to use this sound. But then like if I'm playing big like heavy open chords, I'll probably go with like. Now onto the amp itself that I play with. This is a Fender Rumble 500. I got this kind of like as a graduation present. I kind of had just saved up a bunch of money and bought this. And this is the amp that you do indeed hear on the album. In terms of my settings, it's very simplistic. I have the gain a little bit up right here. I usually like to have my bass a little bit cranked and not a lot of treble because I like a lot of that low end. And then we have 3 different settings here: bright, contour, and vintage. I usually only use the vintage settings because then it sounds like I'm playing an actual vintage bass, like ones that John Paul Jones and John Entwistle used back in the day. This, however, is not the bass that you hear on the album. It is actually this one right here, which was the first bass I ever owned. It's just a little starter Ibanez bass, but I've gotten a lot of use out of this over the years. I replaced the stock pickups with some like really expensive Seymour Duncans, and that really made a difference in the sound. And then I've also had the strings replaced with flat wounds because, again, as I had stated earlier, I like that sound. Thank you for watching my rig rundown. Like and subscribe and comment and turn on the notification bell and do all the other things that all the other YouTubers tell you to do. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Echo Road Band. And have a great day.